my name is Emma and I'm 6. Today I'll be reading book 1, The Philosopher's Stone by Ch3 Rowling, chapter 3, The Letters from No One. The escape of the Brazilian boa constrictor earned Harry his longest ever punishment. By the time he was out of his cupboard again, the summer holidays had started and Dudley had already broken his new sign camera, crashed his remote control aeroplane, and for the first time on his racing bike, knocked down Mrs. Fig as she crossed Port Drive with her crutches. Harry was glad school was over, but there was no escaping Dudley's gang, who came to visit the house every day. Pius, Dennis, and Malcolm, and Gordon were all big and stupid. But as Dudley was the biggest and stupidest of the lot, he was the leader. The rest of them were all quite happy to join in Dudley's favourite sport, Harry hunting. This was why Harry spent as much time as possible out of the house, wandering around and thinking about the end of the holidays, where he could see a tiny ray of hope. In September, he will be going off to secondary school. And for the first time in his life, he wouldn't be with Dudley. Dudley had a place at Uncle Vernon's old school. Smarting's Pius was going there. Piers Polkiss was going there too. On the other hand, was going to Stonewall High, the local comprehensive. Dudley thought this was funny. They stuffed people's head down the toilets first day at Stonewall. He told Harry he wanted to come upstairs and practice. No thanks, said Harry. The poor toilets never had anything as horrible as your head down there. It might be sick. Then he ran before Dudley could work out what he had said. One day in July, Aunt Petunia took Dudley to buy his Smarting's uniform, while Aunt Petunia left while leaving Harry at Mrs. Fig's. Mrs. Fig's wasn't as bad as usual. It turned out she had broken her leg tripping over one of her cats, and it didn't seem quite as fond as before. She let Harry watch television and gave him a bit of chocolate cake that tasted though she'd had it several years. That evening, Dudley paraded around the living for the family in his brand new uniform. Smarting's boys wore maroon tailcoats, orange knickerbockers, and flat straw hats called boaters. They also carried knobbly sticks used for hitting each other while the teachers were looking. This was supposed to be good training for later life. As he looked at Dudley in his new knickerbockers, Uncle Vernon said gruffly that it was the proudest moment of his life. Aunt Petunia through tears and said she couldn't believe it was her equal Dudleykins. He looked so handsome and grown up. He thought two of his ribs might have already cracked from trying not to laugh. There was a horrible smell in the kitchen next morning when Harry went in for breakfast. It seemed to be coming from a large metal tub in the sink. He went to have a look. The tube was full of what looked like dirty rugs in grey water. "What's this?" he asked Petunia. Her lips tightened as they always did if he asked a question. It was in your new school uniform. Harry looked at the bowl again. "Oh, don't be stupid. I'm dyeing some of Dudley's old things grey for you. It will look just like everyone else's when I finish." Harry's serious dolt did this, but he thought it was best not to argue. He sat down on the kitchen table and tried not to think about how he was going to look on his first day at Stonewall High, like he was wearing bits of wobbly elephant skin, probably. Dudley and Uncle Vernon came in, both with wrinkled noses because of the smell of Harry's new uniform. Probably. Uncle Vernon opened his new newspaper as usual, and Dudley banged his smelting stick, which he carried everywhere, on the table. He heard the click of the letter box and flip of letters on the doormat. Make Harry get it. Make Harry get it. Make Harry get it. Get the post, Harry. Make Dudley get it. Poke him with your smoking stick, Dudley. Harry dodged the smoking stick and went to get the post. 3 things lay on the doormat. A postcard from Uncle Ron and Sister Marge, who was holidaying in the Isle of Wight, a brown envelope that looked like a bill, and a letter for Harry. Harry picked it up and stared at it, his heart flying like a giant elastic band. No one ever in his whole life had written to him. Who would? He had no friends, no other relative. He didn't belong to the library. He didn't belong to the library, so he never even got rude notes asking for books back. Yet, here it was, a letter addressed so plainly there could be no mistake. Mr. H. Potter, the cupboard under the stairs. Privet 4, Privet Drive, Little Ringing, Surrey. The envelope was thick and heavy, made of yellow parchment, and the address was written in emerald green ink. There was no stamp. Having the envelope over his hand trembling, Harry saw a purple wax seal bearing a coat of arms, a lion, an eagle, a badger, and a snake surrounding the large letter. Hey, hey, hey! Shh, 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 shh. Harry boy, what are you doing? Checking for letter bombs? He chuckled at his own joke. Harry went back to the kitchen, still staring at his letter. He handed the bill and the postcard, sat down and slowly began to open slowly envelope. Uncle Vernon ripped open the bill, nodded in disgust, and flipped over the postcard. Marge still informed. Aunt Petunia ate a funny welcome. Dad, said Dudley. Dad, Harry's got something. That's mine. Who'd been writing to you? Said Uncle Vernon. To be ignored. He gave his father a sharp tap on the head with his smelting stick. I want to read that letter. I want to read it, said Harry furiously. As it's mine. Get out, both of you, croaked Uncle Vernon. But get out, both of you. I said, I want my letter, he shouted. Let me see it, demanded Dudley. Get out, roared Uncle Vernon, and he took both Harry and Dudley by the scruffs of the neck and threw them into the hall, slamming the kitchen door behind them. Harry and Dudley promptly had a fierce but silent fight over who would listen at the keyhole. Dudley won, so Harry, his glasses down in one ear, lay flat on his stomach to listen at the crack between door and floor. Aunt Vernon. You don't think they're watching the house? Watching, spying, might be following us, muttered Uncle Vernon wildly. But what shall we do? Run right back. Tell them we don't want. No, he said finally. We'll ignore it. If they don't get an answer, yes, that's best. We won't do anything, but I'm not having one in the house. Petunia, didn't we? We swear when we took him in, we'd stamp out the dangerous nonsense. That evening, when he got back to work, Uncle Vernon did something he'd never done. He visited Harry Who's writing to me? No one. It was just being writing to me. No one's. It was just to you by mistake. Oh yes, Harry, about this cupboard. Your aunt and I have been thinking you're really getting a bit big for it. We think it might be nice if you moved into Dudley's second bedroom. Why? Said Harry. Don't ask questions, snapped his uncle. Take the stuff upstairs now. The Dursleys' house had 4 bedrooms, one for Uncle Vernon and Petunia. One for visitors, usually Uncle Vernon's sister Marge. One where Dudley slept and one where Dudley kept all his toys and things that wouldn't fit in his first bedroom. From downstairs came the sound at his mother. I don't want to come. From downstairs, Harry sighed and stretched out onto the bed. Yesterday he'd have given anything to be up here. Today he'd rather be back in his cupboard with that letter than being up here without it. The next morning at breakfast, everyone was rather quiet. Dudley was in shock. He'd screamed, whacked his father with his smelting stick, kicked his mother and thrown her twice through the greenhouse roof, and he still didn't have his room back. Harry was thinking about his time yesterday when Uncle Vernon and Petunia kept looking at each other darkly. When the post arrived, Uncle Vernon, who seemed to be trying to be nice to Harry, made Dudley go and get it. They heard him banging things with his smelting stick all the way down the hall. With a strangled cry, Uncle Vernon leapt from his seat and raced down the hall. Go to your cupboard, your bedroom, yelled at Harry. Dudley, go. Just go. Harry walked round and round his new room. Someone new he had moved out of his cupboard, and they seemed to received his first letter. Surely that meant they'd try again, and this time he'd make sure they didn't fall. Harry leapt into the air. He trotted on something big and squishy on the doormat. Something like he shouted at Harry half an hour ago, and then the post had arrived. Harry could see 3 letters dressed in green ink. I want my letter back. But Uncle Vernon was already tearing them at a piece. Uncle Vernon didn't go to work that day. He stayed at home and nailed up the letterbox. See, he explained to Aunt Petunia through a mouthful of nails. If they can't deliver them, they'll just give up. I'm not sure that will work, Vernon. Oh, these people's mind work in strange ways, Petunia. They're not like you and me, trying to knock a nail in. As they couldn't go through the letterbox, they slid through the uneven some forced down into the toilet. Uncle Vernon stayed at home again. After burning all of the letters, he got a hammer and nailed and boarded up the cracks around the front and back doors so no one could go out. He hummed, tiptoed through the tulips as he walked and jumped at small noises. On Saturday, who on earth wants to talk to you that badly? Dudley asked Harry in amazement. On Sunday morning, Uncle Vernon sat something came whizzing down with today. Out. Uncle Vernon seized Harry around the waist and threw him into the hall. When Aunt Petunia and Dudley had run out with their arms over the face, they could still. That does it, trying to speak calmly, but pulling out great tugs of his moustache at the same time. We're going out. They drove and they drove. Even Aunt Petunia didn't dare ask where they were going. Every now and then Uncle Petunia would take a sharp turning and drive in the opposite direction for a while. Shake him off, he would mutter. Whenever he did this, they didn't stop to eat or drink all day. One night when Dudley was howling, he never had such a bad day in his life. He was hungry, he missed my television program he wanted to see, and he'd never gone so long without blowing up an alien on his computer. Uncle Vernon stopped at last outside the gloomy-looking hotel on the outskirts of a big city. Dudley and Harry shared a room with twin beds and damp, musty sheets. Dudley's Excuse me, what is one of you, Mr. H? The woman said, I'll take them. minutes to go. Was the sea slapping so hard on the rock that? And 2 minutes ago, what was that funny crunching noise? Was the rock come crumbling into the sea? Maybe he'd wake Dudley up. But someone, boom! Whole shop shivered and Harry's board. The end of chapter 3.